Say hello to my little friend, the Ketchnov Byk-1 assault rifle. This weapon was added as a part of the Jufeng Smuggler 2 DLC, and it's one of 3 guns that got added to the game. The others being the sniper and an SMG. Now normally I'd go over the DLC as a whole, but honestly, the other 2 weapons are boring as hell. The sniper, it's basically the same as a WA2K or a contractor. The SMG, basically the same as the P90, the Heathers, or Vectors. As for the rest of the DLC, it's skins. I automatically don't care. So this assault rifle is now the second gun in the game that has an underbarrel grenade launcher. Now this is pretty big news for anyone that's new to the series because I believe this is the only way to get a weapon like this. The other gun that came from the Scarface pack, and well, I'm pretty sure Overkill lost the license to actually sell it. It's not available in the store anymore. In a way, this is the only gun that can be bought with an underbarrel grenade launcher, and it's insanely fun. So stat-wise, the base assault rifle, it's utterly boring. It's a mid-tier damage assault rifle with less total ammo than its peers, and other than that, nothing about it stands out one way or the other. It takes all the fun AK mods, and it's got one unique little silencer mod, which I put on the gun since I think it looks neat. Now, for the underbarrel grenade launcher, you can see that there's a mod to put on frag rounds. In fact, the electrical grenades that you saw me shooting are actually on by default. This DLC not only lets you use frag grenades and electrical grenades for the underbarrel grenade launchers, but now every grenade launcher in the game can also equip the electric grenade. Now this is huge because it circumvents one of the biggest downsides I talked about in the video I made regarding the electric grenade, and that is scarcity. Having these grenades in your throwable slot really hinders your utility since you only get a few of them, and they're not useful enough to warrant bringing over, say, javelins, or flashbangs, or even regular frag grenades. When equipped on a grenade launcher, or when using it on this assault rifle in particular, you can replenish the grenades simply by picking up ammo off the ground. And by God, is it generous! In comparison, having frag rounds as your underbarrel grenade type means that you have to clear entire waves of enemies before you get a single grenade back. With the electric grenades, I can literally run over and pick up like half a dozen ammo boxes on the ground and get both of my grenades back. The sustainability alone makes it so worth using, even if it has fairly underwhelming effects. So, I'll touch up on some of the characteristics of the electric grenade, but I won't go too in-depth. If you want to see more thorough testing, check out my video about the X1 Zapper grenade as a throwable. I did a lot more nuanced testing there to see how useful it really is. But basically, in a nutshell, it's a pretty strong stun, anyone caught by the blast will get electrocuted for nearly the full duration, and it also has really good range. However, the stun duration itself is on the shorter side, and paired with the clunkiness of the assault rifle, that means you have a really short window to capitalize. Now you've probably noticed from the gameplay that I normally shoot the underbarrel grenade launcher, switch right back to gun mode, and try to mow stuff down before the stun effect wears off. The main problem is that by doing this, you always have to go and find yourself a nice little corner to reload your underbarrel grenade. If you try to reload right after shooting the grenade, there's this weird delay between the reload and swapping gun modes. I'm not really sure if this is intentional or not, but honestly, it kills some of the functionality of the assault rifle, since you waste a lot of time just trying to swap firing modes. As such, I'm almost always swapping right away instead of trying to reload the grenade, which means that sometimes I'll bring it back out and forget that there's nothing in the chamber, making me look like a complete dumbass. In fact, the swap time itself takes longer than you'd expect, and again, it really eats up precious seconds that you could be using for shooting instead. Now, I don't know why they've made so many delays, and, it really feels awkward, but this is also probably one of the biggest drawbacks of the weapon as a whole. Other than that, it's a really solid addition to the game. The assault rifle part of the gun is underwhelming, as you'd expect. Mostly all assault rifles are on the higher difficulties. It's got average damage at the 90-ish range. It has average accuracy and stability, but for some reason a smaller ammo pool than its archetype counterparts. There's not really much to warrant taking assault rifles over so many other weapon types. But this in part is what makes this combo so good. With on-demand crowd control, you can take advantage of the electrocution to really aim your shots and make sure you're actually popping heads. One of the biggest downsides to assault rifles in general is that they're probably some of the weaker weapons when dealing with large groups. Shotguns and LMGs, they really excel in this area with their volume of fire. But with assault rifles, you really gotta go for headshots, and you also can't fire willy-nilly since you don't really have the same type of ammo. The electric grenades help bridge that gap, making it one of the few assault rifles in the game that are worth bringing on, say, a Death Sentence 1 down run, at least in my opinion. Personally, I found the damage of the base gun to be pretty low, so I had to run a Berserker setup to help me out. The concealment is also very, very poor, so it's going to be hard to make it work with crits unless you run the fully aced versions of the dodge and crit skills. But as a whole, this gun is probably really worth picking up since it's much more versatile than any other gun that we have in the game currently. And if you get the DLC, you can also equip all these electric grenades and all the other grenade launchers as well, which I think is actually a pretty useful modification. So it's a very fun weapon, and that's a lot more than I can say about the rest of the DLC, which is just boring ass free skins.